If you've been keeping an eye on the recent advancements in the fields of finance and new emerging technologies, it's likely that you've heard the term blockchain, the revolutionary new ledger system behind Bitcoin. Initially evaluated at around $708 million in 2017, the blockchain technologies industry is anticipated to reach $60.7 billion by the year 2024, making it one of the fastest growing new generation industries. Although those stats are impressive, blockchain is still relatively new. Information surrounding it may be thought of as difficult or complex to understand. That is why today I will be explaining to you the intricacies of blockchain in a more conventional and simplified manner, while also going over its potential inclusion within corporate America. The blockchain system serves as a decentralized ledger. In regards to the transfer of money, this ledger records the movement of the funds. In regards to ballots and votes, it is used to record which candidate the votes are put in for. In regards to patient records, digital medical history can easily be stored. However, what makes blockchain more than just a storage system or a bank is its decentralized nature. The information presented on this digital ledger is recorded across many computers. This makes it so that any record or block cannot retroactively be changed without the altercation of all subsequent blocks that make up the ledger or the chain. Strong encryption algorithms also ensure that no transaction can be altered once completed, making blockchain an amazing securer of information. These blocks, as mentioned earlier, serve as stored data. The first of these blocks, as shown on the graphic, is referred to as the Genesis block. This is where the blockchain actually begins. The information presented in the subsequent blocks typically holds transaction details such as time, date, or amount of money the participants in the transactions have transferred. This information is not only secured with an encryption process, but also with another security measure known as the digital signature. The digital signature serves as a way to distinguish between an individual block from other blocks in the chain. The information expressed in each piece of code is called the hash. As for the transfer of money, blockchain clearly sets itself apart from current money transfer methods. By eliminating the middleman, which is normally a bank or some other third party, the blockchain system serves as a simplistic and safe platform on which money and information can be exchanged between two parties. Furthermore, with today's standard banking structure, settling, validating, and completing transactions is a long process, sometimes taking days, slowing cash flow from point A to B. Blockchain's instantaneous setup transfers information and money in real time, completely removing this hassle. The encryption and automation, as mentioned earlier, also makes the blockchain system an extremely secure method on which proceedings such as the transfer of money can easily be conducted. Along with this, the absence of a middleman completely removes any transactional fees, including international fees, making blockchain a more economically sound approach to transferring money and information. Despite the issue of scalability, one of the most feasible applications of blockchain can be found in the field of real estate. Brokers, lawyers, and banks have always been key players in real estate-related transactions. However, blockchain may soon usher in a shift in their roles in real estate transactions. New platforms can eventually assume functions such as listings, payments, and legal documentations. Cutting out the intermediaries will result in buyers and sellers getting more out of their money as they save on commissions and fees charged by these intermediaries. This also makes the process much quicker, as the back and forth between these intermediaries gets cut. Real estate has long been considered an illiquid asset since it takes time for sales to conclude. This isn't the case with cryptocurrencies and tokens, since they can in theory be readily traded for fiat currencies through exchanges. With tokens, real estate can be readily traded. A seller doesn't have to wait for a buyer who can afford the entire property in order to get some value for their property. Real estate technology has traditionally been concerned with listings and with connecting buyers and sellers. However, blockchain introduces new ways to trade real estate. Blockchain can enable trading platforms and online marketplaces to support real estate transactions more comprehensively. In addition to this, using blockchain and crypto allows for fractional ownership. By allowing fractional ownership, blockchain also lowers the barriers to real estate investing. Typically, investments would require significant money up front in order to acquire the property. However, with crypto, investors could pool their money to acquire more valuable assets. A decentralized exchange has trust built into the system. Since information can be verifiable to peers, buyers and sellers can have more confidence in conducting transactions. Fraud attempts would also be lessened. Blockchain technology can advance leasing as well as purchase and sale transactions in commercial real estate. Along with this, there are time and cost benefits of blockchain, as well as increased security and transparency that the technology could drive across the purchase and sale process. An aspect of blockchain that could be implemented in a wider range of fields is the smart contract. A smart contract is a concept that lets you set up agreements and the rules that govern the transactions. Not only can you decide what amount goes from one stakeholder to another, you can also set up the conditions for when and how to transfer the money. An example of such a situation in real estate is the down payment. The down payment is one condition in a chain of events that the buyer must fulfill. Smart contracts are a system that people cannot manipulate. In it, all interactions and conditions are transparently shared. For instance, all parties would know the instant the buyer completes the down payment. The smart contract furthermore regulates what happens if things fall through. Should something go wrong down the line, the system returns the money to the original stakeholders immediately. In this section of the video, I'd like to explain how I went about making my very own smart contract. Initially, I didn't know how I would go about doing this. However, after a few hours of trial and error and Google searches, I was able to code a basic Ethereum smart contract. I tested it using test ether, which I had received from a faucet, and even made my own token named Barot coin. I used a platform called Remix Ethereum to help me run the contract on Ethereum servers. In addition to Remix Ethereum, I also used an application named MetaMask, which served as a makeshift bank for my crypto. This is where I began adding my test ether for transfer. After coding the contract and its functionality, I was able to compile it pretty easily. Next, I began filling in values for a few variables, and I was able to run the contract pretty smoothly. A receipt of the transaction was provided, and the contract was executed. Overall, it was a very interesting concept, one which I learned a lot from. For reference, I have my contract's code on the left and the MetaMask notification notifying me of my funds being transferred on the right. If you'd like a more in-depth explanation, I've written a Medium article about the entire process and I've linked it down below. Go check it out. In regards to potential future applications of blockchain, tokenization takes the cake. As the name suggests, tokenization tokenizes funds exchanged from a buyer and a seller. As the funds are transferred, a brain tree of sorts saves the buyer's credit or debit card number, tokenizes the funds paid, and sends the funds to the seller. Therefore, the buyer's credit or debit card number never reaches the seller's website servers. This allows for a wider range of investors and buyers to have access to a property or a good. In today's world, many potential applications of blockchain have been proposed for a variety of fields. From the medical field to music labels, hypothetically, blockchain can almost be applied anywhere. However, if that's the case, why haven't these fields incorporated blockchain already? This is because there are many underlying issues with blockchain, one of which being scalability. Organizations and establishments are not willing to use blockchain unless it can prove that it can scale itself to an appropriate level without undermining speed and security. Along with this, many organizations at this time simply do not need a technology that acts as a decentralized ledger, despite its ability to easily transfer money and ideas. Even if companies do decide to make the switch to the blockchain system by completely removing existing infrastructure and starting anew with a customizable blockchain, doing so would be an exceptionally costly and time-consuming process that many organizations simply cannot commit to. As blockchain technology continues to pick up speed, the sky's the limit regarding where it can be applied. From healthcare to real estate, blockchain can potentially be applied in a wide range of fields. As Ethereum CTO Gavin Woods claims, the potential for blockchain technology to alter aspects of society is of significant magnitude. This is something that would provide a technical basis for all sorts of social changes, and I find that exciting. Keep your eyes peeled for the future applications of blockchain and where it may lead.